Ethan, who's 5. He'll be going into kindergarten in the fall. And then I have Seth, who's about a year and a half. And we go to Edmonds Church of God. I first want to know if you have any kids coming with you. Anybody that has kids coming that need nursery care, so they're under the age of 3. If you do, then let's talk. You'll drop them off outside, and the volunteers will take them to their classroom. You won't need to go get them. All right. The first slide, the next slide, is going to have your general information on it. So does everybody have those dates, July 22nd through 26th, you know, to be here? Perfect. You can come any other time, we just won't have Vacation Bible School. I'm sure they would welcome you. So like I mentioned, there's going to be a devotional time at 8:30 in the morning, about 15 minutes, so please make sure that you're here on time, because I'll have some announcements, and we'll want to go over devotions, and then any questions that you might have for the day or the week. Throughout training, I'm going to mention captains, crew leaders, and junior crew. So captains are the adult leaders. So each crew, there's going to be 4 to 6 different classrooms, and each of those classrooms will have, oh, hi, Dawn. When did you sneak in?
I just stopped through the bathroom.
Suspicious. Each crew will have an adult leader. And so you adults are like the mother hen to the crew leaders, which are the teenagers, and then the junior crew, which have done Vacation Bible School before and are either going into 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. So adult leaders are, you're going to mentoring the crew leaders with the hopes that crew leaders will stick with ABS until they're adults and become those crew. Crew leaders are our high school kids. Raise your hand if you're a crew leader. Perfect. So crew leaders will each have about 5 kids that they oversee, and there's going to be 3 crew leaders to 1 adult, if that makes sense. And we'll go over the schedule towards the end of training. And they're going to oversee their 5 kids, so they kind of herd the cats through the day. They're also mentoring the junior leaders. So who's the junior leaders? Who's going into 6th, 7th, 8th? So this group there. Have you guys all gone through Vacation Bible School? You all very familiar in some sense. Perfect. So they've all done Vacation Bible School before, and their one role, you guys will get little bags that have stickers in it, and your primary role is to give kids that are doing really great things a sticker. You can put it on their shirt, you can put it on their knee, you can put it on their shoe, you can put it on their name tag. Anytime you see a kid doing something kind to somebody else or helping, that's what I want you guys looking for. And so then the hope is that you guys see how this all works, and then you move into crew leaders in the next couple of years. So as I kind of say these words, that's who I'm talking about. Okay, let's talk about check-in. Check-in, when you go, we're going to meet in room 5, and you'll hear the noise there when you go. We'll meet in there. That's where we'll do our devotions every day. You'll want to have all your stuff ready to go. So I suggest before you leave each day, make sure that your bag has everything they need in it. So each captain, each adult leader will have a bag that has a clipboard in it, with everybody that's in your crew listed on there, and their allergies. We've got some pretty severe allergies this year, so I'm going to make sure it's on their name tag and it's visible on their name tag. One family's already been asked to bring their own snack, so we're just going to be really diligent as to, and you'll know who those kids are. So this is for the adult leaders, and you'll have your bags. There's some other stuff in there. The crew leaders, the high schoolers, will have a bag specific to their 5 kids, and you can put their coats in here and all that kind of stuff. So that, and then junior crew, you guys will have a little bag that's got your stickers in it. So before you leave each day, I suggest just having those bags set for the morning, because the morning is always So, check-in. Let's go to Monday's check-in. If you were here last year, it will be like last year's Tuesday through Thursday. We're not gonna have the lineup, so for several years we had all the kids line up with their families and check them in. This year they're just gonna get to go straight to their classrooms. So, what it's gonna look like is the adult leader, the captain, is gonna stand outside the door with their clipboard. And on the clipboard is going to have all the kids' names in their crew with a FIN number, a family identification number. And the parents, so kid arrives to the classroom, parent is gonna say, what's your name? Check them off, and then put their name tag on them. And in their name tag is gonna be a slip of paper that has their FIN number. You're gonna give the FIN number to mom or dad, who's ever dropping off or bringing her back. They need that number to pick up their child. So I suggest that you let them know to take a picture of that number in case they lose it, then they have it. Or if the neighbor or the nanny is picking up in the afternoon, they can text that picture to who's ever picking up. Without that number, they can't take their child. And you just make it really clear. You just reiterate it's for the safety of their kids. If there's a problem, just come find me and I can work it out. It's usually, it hasn't been a big deal. So, adults at the front door, and then inside the room is where the crew leaders will be getting all the kids orientated in. We don't want parents in the room. It just causes a lot of unneeded chaos. But if there's an exception, if you've got a kid that just is not going to let go to mom, it might help if mom comes in and helps distract them with blocks or whatever. But also ask mom, like, what is the kid like? Does he like cars? Does he like Play-Doh? Is he whatever that we can do to get that child into the classroom? Is that all making sense and whatnot? Okay. That's how it's going to be Monday through Friday. So the same thing every day. Checkout is going to be the exact same. Adult on the outside, crew leaders on the inside. Parents will come up and say, my FIN number is 1, 2, 3, 4. And you say, great, here's your child. Let's see. The elementary assembly will be happening in here during check-in time. So if we can keep the noise, I mean, it'll be loud in here, so they won't really hear us, but just so you know, that's going on in here. We'll do our assembly in the middle of our time. So, parents are wondering or whatever, that's what's going on in here. Checkout is gonna be the exact same as check-in, just you're releasing the kids. So at closing time is the last 10 minutes. We'll do closing circle. So I'm gonna hand these out now. Dawn, Jackie, if you are a adult leader, the names are on there. I suggest finding a strong crew leader and having them do closing circle. For the littlest ones, it's going to look very different than our 5-year-olds, I'm sure. And if it's only a 2-minute closing circle where you just kind of, talk about a highlight of the day and pray, that's fine. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. These kids, they're going to be tired. 3 hours is a long time for some of them to go. So that's the closing circle stuff. And I think that's it for check-in, check-out. Does that make sense? Are there any questions for check-in, check-out? Okay, wonderful. We'll keep moving along. Let's move into kind of how to behave with a child. So if you already have a relationship with the kid, if he's your own kid, thank you. Thank you. It looks a lot different than a brand new kid coming in. You can, high fives, knuckle bumps, elbow bumps are always Okay, you have some kids that don't want to be touched. I think I could live the rest of my life with never being touched. I don't like to be touched. I don't, other kids, like my son Ethan, he would live on your leg if he could. He loves to be touched. And touch can look like different forms. Seth, our baby, his touch is very much roughhousing. So it's different, so you might have some kids that are really rambunctious and that's how they want to be touched. And so finding ways, maybe having them sit close to you and building blocks. I remember last year I had a kid that was really rambunctious. And so during Bible time when you're sitting and listening to a story, I would just tap their knee. Something that just kind of kept their brain focused and then in tune with what was going on. You might have a kid that just needs to stand in the back of the corner and just do this all day, whatever they need to do, try and do it and try and keep them in the classroom. We will have a room for kids that just need a break. If they just are having a moment or having a meltdown, we have a classroom that'll be quiet and toned down where they can just kind of refocus. Always ask, can I give you a hug? Some kids will say yes. Other kids might be in the corner and, clearly not want to be touched. Discipline-wise, if you've got a kid that's just really being distracting, you've kind of tried everything, feel free to come get me. I will be floating in the hallways most of the time, get Veronica, and we can kind of help. We don't want, Veronica and I would rather be the bad cops and you guys just have fun. We want the kids to come back excited to see you. I don't really care if they don't like me or not. I'm not their crew. But we just want them to, have fun with you guys. Your question, or are we stretching? Or airing out our armpits? Do we need to air out our armpits? Okay. All right, let's talk about if you suspect injury to a child that happens outside of EBS. So if you suspect something, come straight to myself, Veronica, Eric. Don't try and investigate within your crew. It's just not going to be worth it. Just come. If you notice anything, a bruise that seems out of character, or something maybe that wasn't there yesterday that mom and dad didn't say to you before, let us know. If a child comes to you and makes a statement, or something seems off, or you'll know, you'll have that feeling, come and let us know, and let us take care of it so that you can focus on the rest of your kids, and we will handle it in an appropriate way and take the proper steps to making sure everybody's safe and cared for. If a child appears to be ill, come let us know and we will figure out what to do. It's kind of hard with the runny nose, the swollen eyes, the coughing. There's allergies. It might be allergies. I know that there's one little kid who has a dairy sensitivity, and so he just kind of always looks sick all the time, but it's because he found goldfish in the couch cushion and ate them the night before. So, but if something seems suspicious, let us know, and sometimes the parents will let us know, and we haven't yet conveyed that to you guys, but we'll help take care of that. Probably the second biggest thing is the 2-person policy. I would say the first biggest thing is if you suspect something going on with the child outside of Vacation Bible School, let us know. The second biggest thing is the 2x2. So just like Noah's Ark, we are going 2x2 to the bathroom. So 2 adults, 2, whether it's a high schooler, even a junior crew, with the kids. Does that make sense? It's not just kept 2 adults, because that wouldn't always be possible. Sometimes if it's, if I'm in the hallway, I can be one person and Corey could be the second person, just 2 people with the kids. And if one kid has to go to the bathroom, ask your whole group, because likely everybody suddenly needs to go. Naomi's gonna be my timekeeper, so every 20 minutes you will see her face or hear her her sound maker, letting you know it's time to rotate, but she will also be available in the hallway if you can't get a second person to go with you to the restroom. If you're not familiar with the building, there's a bank of bathrooms just on the other side of this hallway. There's also 2 individual bathrooms in the hallway. I like the individual ones because you can just stand there with your foot in the door and somebody will be in the hallway. But if you've got a whole group of kids that need to go, then 2 crew leaders can go to the bathroom and take care of business that way. When you go to the bathroom, you'll want to kind of stand with like your foot in the doorway, not the stall, but like in the doorway, just so you can hear any shenanigans that are going on, but not being one-on-one with the kid in the bathroom. And then if a kid needs help with his buckle coming out, ask him to come out of the stall so that your second adult can just keep eyes on everything that's going on. And that just kind of keeps everybody safe and secure, and no monkey business is happening. Child safety. If anything happens, let us know. An incident report is always a good idea. Sometimes we don't know if a kid has a bleeding disorder. I used to work with an organization where kids had bleeding disorders and the slightest bump could cause a big medical emergency. I know it maybe sounds like overkill, but anytime anything happens, you can even just jot it down, a paper cut. When Ethan was at school this year, he ran into a kid and bumped his mouth. And there was a little bit of blood, they said at school. Well, later in the day, his whole gum started to bruise and his tooth was wiggly. Well, I didn't have an incident report to really know what happened. And so it would have been helpful had somebody written down, he bumped his head, like we applied ice or whatever. So again, it sounds like overkill. You can even just come tell me and I can help make the decision if we need to write it down or call mom and dad or anything like that. Safety, as far as adults go, well, let's talk about if the hurt is emotional. So kids get their feelings hurt a lot, right? And there's some kids that are super sensitive. Ethan is my more sensitive child. He's also super competitive. He is the best. He is faster than a cheetah. He can jump higher than the sky. And don't dare tell him otherwise because you will be wrong. And so figuring out maybe why a kid is crying. Some kids will just kind of sulk and go off in the corner and you're not really sure if they jam their finger or if somebody looked at them wrong or whatever. But just always getting down on their level and just being kind. And you can read their body language. Most of you have all been teaching in school before to know, how to kind of connect with that child. I'm going to hand out, I have one for everybody. They're different learning styles. You can take these home and read them when you're going to the bathroom. We won't go over them right now. You can read them on the car ride on your vacation, between now and Vacation Bible School. It's just different ways that kids might learn to learn. So there's that. Again, if they're anxious, if you find that having like silly putty in their hand while they're listening to Bible or whatever works, then let's do that. If they need to have 3 blocks that they're just constantly stacking, let's do that. If they need a fidget spinner, let's do that. Any way that we can keep them engaged in the classroom, that's why we want them here, is to learn the gospel in whatever way works for them. So overall safety, the biggest thing will be everybody that's cleared to be at Vacation Bible School should be wearing one of these shirts. If they're not and they're just kind of wandering through the hall, you're going to want to let us know.
Or me. I'm going to be your security.
Perfect. Excellent. Good to know. So, yeah, if you, let him know. Because we've got those doors right there that are going to be.
Your name is?
Jim.
Jim. Thanks, Jim.
Those doors people could come and go, and the front doors, people can come and go. So Jim will be wandering around in his blue shirt. And this year, we won't be using the Soma room as a classroom. So all of our classrooms will be here, which I think will be really nice. We won't have to worry about dragging off over into the corner. But Jim will be making sure that we are on lockdown. If somebody just refuses to leave, we will handle it. The police station is right down the street. They have a fabulous holding cell that I've heard of. We will just let them hang out there. Be with the kids. If you can, try not to have your back to the door when you're in the classroom, just so you can see who's coming and going. We may have kids that are runners. Those doors they're easy enough to open. So you could sit next to the door too to make sure who's coming and going. Okay, we've talked a lot already about distracting behavior. Counting heads often. Making sure that you always have who you have. That'll be your crew leaders, the high schoolers. That's a big job of yours, is just making sure you'll have about 5 kids in your group. Captains, making sure you've got about 15 kids in your section, in your crew. Distracting behavior, we've really kind of covered most of that slide already. Give a child a job. If you've worked with kids before, we all like to feel important, but kids really will take it an extra mile if you maybe have a line leader. If you've just got a kid that just as a positive thing, let them be the line leader, be the head counter. If you find the time and you can maybe give each kid a job throughout the week and just rotate it, that would be great. Somebody to carry your bag. You'll have 2 or 3 bags, give each somebody a bag to carry. Have somebody be your caboose, who's going to be the caboose for the day that's at the end of the line. So just something to keep the kids engaged every moment of the way. Try to maintain order. If you find that you'll need, I'm not sure if it's in the bag, sometimes having a rope for all the kids to hold on to as they move through the day is super helpful. So we can have that, just make sure they don't clothesline themselves. So that might be also that's in charge of the rope. If you can, try and be proactive. Try and be one step ahead of what's going on. If you know a transition's coming up and a kid just really struggles, maybe prep that kid. Like, okay, in 2 minutes we're gonna go stand by the door. As long as if you can try and think just a couple minutes ahead. So we are all in this together. We're all the body of Christ. We are all here for the same goal, to lead these children to Christ. If you are having a problem with somebody in your crew, or the captain, or me, feel free to let somebody know that this just isn't working, because I'm a strong believer that other people can pick up on that. So if you and your group captain just aren't getting along, if you can just find a way to pause. You're only here 3 hours times 5 is what? Quick. 15 hours. It's not very long, but if you just can't, let us know. We will make every effort we can to make it work. Let's talk about participation. When should you participate? Always. Good one. So in everything. We're going to talk about the schedule here in just a second. It's going to require a lot of engagement and participation because the kids are on a rotation every 20 minutes. So by the time you get into the classroom, get them settled, The station leader gets to present what the kids are supposed to be doing. They get to do the activity, then they've got to get up and get to the door and be on to their next. It moves pretty quick, so helping keep those kids going and you participating. The more you participate, the more they're going to want to participate, the more enthusiasm you have, the more enthusiasm they're going to have, and the more fun everybody will have all together. Okay, so we're gonna jump into the schedule. For those that, and I thought, is Veronica here? I was hoping that everybody would have a schedule to look at. Could you ask her if she's got those schedules? If you have done Vacation Bible School with us before, the schedule will look a little different. If you haven't, the schedule looks totally normal. What we have found the last couple of years is that
Did you grab them on the counter?
No. Thank you, I forgot. So, one thing that sets Vacation Bible School here at CCM apart from all the other ones in the community that I know of is that we let kids that are 3 years old attend. Most they start them at 4. I have really kept it for 3-year-olds to come. That's how Ethan got involved at Vacation Bible School here a few years ago. And so it was really important to me that we let 3-year-olds come. That said, they're perfect. Let's see. If you are a station leader, you're going to get the one with the paper clip on it. Everybody else will get one of these. Our littlest kids, our 3-year-olds, and then our older 3s and young 4s, just have a really hard time with transition. And when we kind of counted it out, I think we were looking at like 9 or so transitions during the day for these little bodies. And it was just too much. So we've changed up the schedule so that the 2 littlest groups, and if you first look at the preschool kindergarten schedule, the Lions and the Buffalo are going to spend the majority of their day in the classroom in hopes that it kind of decreases the meltdowns and the fatigue of those littlest kids. But I first want to go through the station leaders one and just point out a couple of things. And ask questions along the way. I think that this is where we could you could get confused. Everybody will have the schedule on their clipboard. It will also be posted all over the hallways and in the classrooms. But ask as we go along the way. Station leaders, in the middle of the day, you will have about 40 minutes to regroup. So it'll seem really intense in the morning, and then when all the kids are at assembly and having snack, you'll get to debrief for a minute, and then you'll jump back into it. If you're doing Kid Vid, there's a part, and I don't have my notes on who's our Kid Vid person. Patty, yes. You'll see in your booklet that it talks about Operation Kid to Kid. We're doing Nourishing Network, and Eric Monday morning will talk more about the mission, and he'll have something. So in your booklet, you can just scratch the Operation Kid to Kid out, and we'll go over the booklet a little bit later. So then there's crafts, games, Bible, and then exploration station. So the group schedule, like I said, the 3s and 4s, you're gonna stay in your room most of the day. You'll get to come out for assembly and snack with everybody, and then go into your room. And so what that means is the station leaders will have carts, and they're gonna come into the classroom as quickly as they can, set up with the littlest kids there, implement what's happening, and then leave. The nice thing is that the stuff will be there, so if kids need something to do, they can finish their craft, or they can, whatever their stuff will be there with people coming into them. They will also, each kid this year is going to have a canvas bag, and they can color on that. So when they come in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning, and they need something to do, They can write their name on the bag, they can color on their bag. That bag will go home with them at the end of the week. So they'll have this bag and all their stuff goes in there. And then at the end of the week, they just take all their stuff in their bag home. If they're dying to take home their coloring sheet on Tuesday, fine, let them take their coloring sheet home on Tuesday. I don't care. The idea is just that mom doesn't have 3,000 things in her hand, plus her screaming child that's tired and hungry, plus, the neighbor kid. They'll just take that canvas bag home with them at the end of the week. And that canvas bag just stays in their room. So even if you're transitioning out during the day, leave that bag in their room. It doesn't need to go with them. Another thing I want to point out is that we've ordered quite a bit of stuff. Don't open it if you don't have to, because we can return what we don't use. So look through everything. Maybe there's already something that's been opened that got shoved to the back, or whatever. Look before you open up stuff, because we will be able to return it. I don't think I'm going to go over the schedule too much more. You can look and see kind of the variance in it. It really just matters more to the station leaders where you're going and when you're coming and all of your supplies. So I think, unless there's any questions, station leaders, I just want to keep you a few more minutes to go over more specific stuff. But if you don't have any questions off the top of your head, yeah.
Christina, I just wonder where the first aid system would be. Is that person be at the office?
Yes. Yeah. Good question. Yes, sir.
When are we gonna know what age or what group we're?
That is a good question. So registration closes in 2 weeks, and after that we will know who's going to be here and how many kids we have where. I can tell you right now, like one of the stations, what don't we have? Oh, the Cuckoo Birds. We don't have anybody in that age group right now. So we may not be using that, so we'll wait and see when registration closes and kind of let everybody know where they're at. Yeah, if you have, I think in the back when you signed in today, if you have an idea of where you'd like to be, note it, and we'll try our best to put you in there, but it'll just depend on who signs up. Anything else? Yes, ma'am?
You say no Cooper, is that because we already built them?
We just don't have that, yeah, we don't have that age. We've got a lot of solid 4s, and we've got a lot of going into kindergarten. So if you think, like last year, we had tons of 4s and 5s, like younger 4s, 5s. So they've all moved into solid 4 or are going into kindergarten in the fall. Like we have 15 kids going into kindergarten in the fall. So yeah, we used last year's model. They all moved. So we may have some younger 5s that are the meerkats that may be giraffes, and we're just waiting to see when registration closes. With school getting out so late, we think that people just are not thinking summer vacation because it all just ended a couple days ago. So, yeah, it's kind of a wait and see right now. We're eager to know where we can filter in everybody and get that checked off our list. Anything else? One thing I want to say too is as we go through the day, if you just make notes on what works and what doesn't work, it will help tremendously for next year since the schedule is kind of new. We just want to know, same with registration, what works, what doesn't work. If you can come and decorate, come decorate on that Sunday. You will not see me here because I will be cleaning up our rummage sale that day. I will just put this in your head for right now. If you can stick around and help with cleanup the last day, on Friday, bring a lunch, and we will get this place back to what it looks like now on Friday, but it takes a ton of work. If you've been here before, you see how great it turns into. I think, let me just make sure that I've covered everything, but I think that's it.